Kelvin. I'm Ira, your AI recruiter for today. I'll assess your Figma and UI and UX design skills. I'll ask you a couple of questions and you can respond naturally as you would do to a person. For a fair assessment, please do not use any external help. This session is being recorded, and any form of cheating may result in a permanent ban from our platform. Let's get started. I'd like to know more about your knowledge of Figma. To begin with, how do you make a vector in Figma?
To make a vector in Figma, you go to the menu and uh, go to the objects menu and click and find in the drop down you will find vectors, and you will click on the shape that you want.
Can you also explain how to manually create or edit vector points in Figma after selecting the vector tool?
After selecting the vector tool, you uh, right click on the vector that has been placed on your workspace, and it will create a node point which you can click and drag.
You covered some steps about using the vector tool and manipulating nodes, but there are other key parts to creating vectors in Figma. Still, we need to move to the next question. How does Figma facilitate collaboration among teams?
It collaborates collaboration it facilitates collaboration among teams by being able to create projects, and within those projects you can add participants to the project, and you can grant them either access rights or comment rights, or access to the messaging panel, or edit rights depending on the role of the person in the project.
What other features does Figma offer that help multiple team members work together in real time?
It has other features like connection to uh, uh, external tools and APIs that can be used to notify other platforms to be able to, maybe things like project trackers and such.
You covered some collaboration features, though a fuller view would include more about real time interaction and shared editing. But we need to move to the next question. Why are design systems important in Figma?
Design systems are important in Figma because they provide a guided sort of reference framework within which teams are supposed to operate, and in case of any deviation, whether intentional or unintentional, or whether it is allowed or not, when it happens, they provide a basis for evaluation and taking necessary corrective or adaptive actions.
Can you also explain how design systems in Figma help with consistency and collaboration within teams?
Yeah, See, by providing that consistent baseline is how they are able to ensure the collaborating teams uh, get the required outputs by providing a consistent base point for which to evaluate each person's efforts towards the common project, to be able to ascertain the adherence to the consistent requirements of the project. Come on. Why are you?
You've touched on consistency and collaboration. Move to the next question. I'd like to know more about your knowledge of UI and UX design. To begin with, what is UX design?
UX design is uh, I don't want to use design on design again, but it is the process of creating and eliciting the processes and procedures that will guide the user through the required process to accomplish whatever task that the product or tool is intended to accomplish, and be able to ensure that the task is easy and effective to understand and doesn't uh, have unnecessary efforts or mental load on, and it is easy to understand part on the part of the um, user.
Thank you for explaining UX design clearly. Let's move to the next question. How can UX design improve customer satisfaction?
UX design can help to improve customer satisfaction by uh, taking into account the intended output of the design feature that is being designed, and also ensuring that the features are aligned with the product for the customer and the required output before the product is released, to make sure that the customer feedback from the customer feedback in previous engagements, when they encounter the product itself or within the common established standards or status quo, they come with certain expectations, and using UX design you can be able to ensure that what you produce is aligned with their expectations from the get-go.
You mentioned aligning features with customer expectations and feedback, which is good. Could you also explain how the usability of the design or emotional experience contributes to improving customer satisfaction?
As I have mentioned, the usability of the design takes into account things like having a low cognitive load, mental load on the user, so that it is easy to understand and it is easy to fit into the user's workflow with minimal disruptions, and that it always produces output as expected, so that even if it is wrong, it is easy to take corrective measures from uh, having correct expectations. If it didn't meet expectations, it would be hard to understand even where the problem is coming from. The emotional experience of using such a product will ensure minimal frustrations, which will keep the user in a proper state of mind when thinking about their problems, other than having to deal with problems that are beyond their scope in the tool, and it contributes to the customer satisfaction.
You've covered how usability, meeting expectations, and emotional experience contribute to customer satisfaction, which addresses the question well. Let's move to the next question. Why is UX important for digital products?
UX is important for digital products because it will ensure uh, consistent use, which will lead to good satisfaction and good reviews, which will drive more adoption of the tool or the digital product, which will also ensure engagement with proper engagement, and it enables to align the development of the digital product better with the needs of the users in the market and with the current common standards, or the what is prevalent in the market, so that the users can be able to have their mm, expectations that come from experience within the product domain.
Thank you for your detailed explanation. We've covered everything needed. That concludes our interview. Wishing you the best ahead.